Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Today I'm going to go over some author sales hacks. Basically, my goal is to help you to make your sales goals smarter and not harder. Author marketing, author sales, and author marketing, author sales, oh, it should say author branding are all connected to one another. I'm going to say this probably time and time again, just so that we all have an understanding that author branding, author sales, and author marketing are all connected. When one is missing, it affects the others. All right. Win Publications slogan and my life goal is that when you win, I win, and we'll all win together. It's my life goal to win with those around me by making sure we're all wins or winners. See what I did there? Okay. So this week's goal is to work on our author brands. Without your author brand, it's almost like building a house on sand. It's not wise at all. Um, yeah, so let's talk about this for a minute. How is your author journey going? I wholeheartedly and highly recommend that you get your brand together ASAP. Having a solid appearance, having your brand colors picked, having a logo done or an image that you use all the time for your brand is important. Your look, how do you stand out from the crowd, and are you using that consistently? Um, and so that's just something to think about. In the last video, I did offer a secret service of creating your brand for you for $50. Let me know if you're interested. We can absolutely get started on that today, if not Monday, or next week sometime. The sooner the better. Just because, like I said, having a solid brand is going to be crucial to your author sales as well as to your author marketing. All right. Speaking of author sales, let's talk about creating goals. This comes second on the book launch timeline. I put out the book launch timeline earlier today, and so make sure you check that out. I know that for some of us, your book is already out. And so we're kind of working backwards. We had to step back and work on our brand, and now we're creating some sales goals. And then next week on Monday, we'll be creating marketing goals. If you have not already done this already, however, for the newer authors, this is something that you can definitely look forward to doing with me, is creating a brand, and then creating some sales goals. Um, hey, Mark, I definitely see your comment. Yes, please catch up. Go back and check out that branding video I posted on Monday. It's pretty cool. Um, and so, all right, what is Win Publications' goal for every author? It's my goal that every author at least make $5,000 in profit from their book sales in 2 years. Um, That might not seem like a lot of money, but that is the goal. That's definitely the goal, and I think it's doable for every author. While I understand you might also have your own personal goals, but by us working together, we will reach them both. Whether your personal goal might be higher, lower, whatever the case is, that's how we can work together to reach your goals. Okay, so let's talk about how to humbly sell yourself, how to proudly sell your book, how to create and meet these sales goals, and how to create a partner for your book. All right, humbly selling yourself. So most sales are generated through some form of marketing. Take a minute and think about your favorite ice cream. Write down 5 things that you love about your favorite ice cream. What you did just now is created 5 key selling points for that particular ice cream. What I want you to do now is write down 5 things that you love about yourself. Can you do that? Those 5 key things that you love about yourself can now become your 5 top selling points as to why people should read what you've written. Especially if you're thinking about publishing more than one book, people need to get to know you as an author because, in my experience, people buy from who they know. So, humbly sell yourself. I think that this is going to take 2 key things, really 3. One, self development. Most authors feel like imposters. They don't realize how courageous and creative they are because they are busy being themselves. And that's cool. But when it comes time to sell yourself as an author, we have to be able to flex a little bit, flex on your readers and let us know how awesome you are. And this might not come naturally. This can come through training, through some affirmations, some self affirmations. This might come through you creating a success log. Write down all of your successes. Write down how many shows you've done, or how many podcasts you've produced, or how many podcasts you've been on, or how many books you sold, whatever. Start creating a success log so that way you can remember how good you are. Or create a journal. Just write down your day to day and go back and read that journal. You can also read books on self-development. And then also just being grateful is also key and huge in just developing yourself. I know for me, when I became a better person, things started working out better for me. And I think a lot of that is just straight up gratitude. Um, Definitely. When you are selling yourself, you want to be genuine. You don't want to be too arrogant. A key way to sell yourself is by promoting reviews, by sharing what other people are saying about you. If there's one thing that I have a pet peeve against, it's people talking about how good they are. Let somebody else sing your praise and make sure that it's genuine and that it's actually who you really are. And so sharing reviews, getting on other people's podcasts, things like that, and having them talk about you is a great way to sell yourself. And then another way is through a media kit. Professionally sell yourself with a media kit and a professional inquiry email. Media kits are just a few pages, maybe 3 to 5 pages about who you are. It also consists of like your social media accounts and your following. It could also include information about your book. It could also include the first chapter of your book, and you give this to people in the media, such as journalists, people who are hosting shows, whether it be a podcast, a Facebook show, Zoom show, whatever. You can give this to them and say, here, this is information about me that you can use to prepare for the interview, the event, or whatever. And then professional inquiry emails. I have a template that I use that I send out to people in the media who I might want to get on their podcast or their show or whatever, and it just simply introduces myself, gives them a quick about me, states my Instagram numbers, tells them what I'm doing, tells them my mission, and then I do attach my success log. This is what I've done in the last 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, the last year. This is where I'm headed in 5 years. And can we work together? And so that's just something to think about. I do have an example of a media kit, and I can probably post it at the end of this video. All right. Proudly sell your book. After all, you wrote it. Now show it off. In my most recent training, I learned more about what distributors, wholesalers, and buyers look for from publishers and authors. Can your book sell itself? Most authors feel like imposters. This is the same text from the last slide. That's okay. They don't realize how creative they are because they are busy being themselves. But let's stop and look at some of these questions. I'm going to read them off to you. I have the notes in front of me, and I might also post this for you to see as well. These are reasons why authors or publishers are declined when they reach out to work with wholesalers, distributors, buyers, people who have like a bookstore. If they decline and say that they don't want to work with you, here's some reasons why. And I'm sharing this with you so that way you don't make these mistakes. All right. Number one, the cover art and design are not competitive. I know that several of you have paid for someone to design your cover, and I just helped put it all together. If you plan on doing that again, I wholeheartedly recommend that you make sure that your cover art and design are competitive. Take a minute, maybe walk through Barnes and Nobles one weekend if you have time, or even just get on Amazon.com and check out the books in the category that you are writing in. So if you're writing a poetry book, check out the other poetry books. If you've written a children's book, check out the children's book. If you've written a children's book that's a bedtime story, check those ones out. Or if you've written a memoir, check out the memoirs that are on there. Do some research and look at the cover art and the design and see how you can get yours to be competitive. Not the same, but competitive. Look at it says the title and front cover copy does not immediately identify the benefits of the book, the subject matter, or the category. For example, if a buyer can't immediately tell if a title is fiction or nonfiction or which of their shelves it will go on, they won't buy it. If the cover does not tell or show what the reader will get out of a book, it has less of a chance of being stocked. Whew, again, that cover art is so important, especially if you're looking to get your books into bookstores or some sort of expanded distribution other than Amazon or Barnes and Nobles, or your own website. The interior design is not competitive. There is an art to designing a quality book interior. If I'm designing the book, it's definitely competitive, and it will continue to become more competitive. I'm so grateful to be able to train and learn more about being a publisher and how all things fit. And so as I get better, I believe that you all will get better if you're taking my advice. Another one, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but just another one to think about is the author has no clear credentials for writing a book on this topic. State your credentials in your About Me on the author back cover or on the back page. Let us know, why did you write this book? And for one of those reasons, it should be because I for example, for a children's book because I have a child, or for a poetry book because I've been writing poems since I was the age of whatever, or because I like to rhyme, or I wrote, my poems are about this specific subject because I am married, or, let us know your credentials. Just put it out there. Again, that's going to also be part of selling yourself and selling your book. And like I said, I will post those. I'll post this probably at the end of this video for you as well. So that way you can see what wholesalers, distributors, and book buyers are looking for if you're an author who's thinking about getting your book in local bookstores or even national bookstores. All right. This is why branding is incredibly important. Pause the video, log off, go and watch the replay of Monday's video. Branding is incredibly important. Whether you meet your sales goals or not is heavily dependent on your branding and your marketing skills. Your appearance is key. Are you consistently using the same 3 colors? Do you have a logo that you put on everything? Do you have a small icon that you put on everything? When someone comes across your book, the next thing that they might do is look up who you are as an author. Many people will look on social media first. That is why the first author branding video was heavily on social media tips. However, you want to look professional across the board. Later, we will address what other authors are doing in your genre and how you can make sure that you're just as competitive. One of the key things that I mentioned in the brand video, as far as social media is going, is making sure that you're utilizing, or at least that you're trying to utilize every function on there, so that you have highlight covers, that you have a decent bio written, that you have the link to your website, that you're having a call of action telling people to click the link to your website, or that you're putting that in your post. Click the link and visit my website, where your website has all the information. Or maybe if you don't have a website, you have a Facebook page that you want to send them to. Wherever, make sure that you look professional, and you can just even do your own research. Go and look at the accounts that you follow and interact with all the time. Look at how they have their highlight covers, or they might not. Look at how their bio is written, or how they kind of design their posts and things like that. These things are going to be key, and a reader might look at this and decide whether or not they're going to read your book or not, based solely on appearance. Is that fair? Maybe not, but that's just a given, and that's the world that we live in. All right. So create and meet your sales goals. I wholeheartedly recommend that you download and print the author sales goal template. I posted it earlier. Because I'm only able to share my screen with you at this point, I might get back on afterwards and go through the sales goal template with you, just so that way you know how to do it, and how to fill it out, and how to use it. And so you can look for that. I'm sorry, I'm taking a sip of my coffee at the minute. Okay. So, sales goals. Create and meet your sales goals. Again, $5,000 is how much we hope that our authors would make in 2 years. In 1 year, starting from the day of your book's release till its 1 year anniversary. That's only $2,500. In 12 months, that's a little over $200 a month. If you're bringing in $5 in royalties for a book sold, that's $40. That's 40 books a month consistently that you need to sell. Now, some of you, I know that you've already surpassed that, and it's only your book has only been out for a month, or you have surpassed that, and your book is not even out yet. I know that some of you are working on that now, so keep it up. Um, but that's just the goal, and having that sales goal template that I created, and that you're gonna print out later, is gonna be key to tracking those things, and it's also going to be key to adding to your success log. You can say, boom, this month I sold 200 copies of my books. Check out the reviews. Look how awesome I am. It's genuine self promotion because you're sharing what others have said. You're sharing stats of the work that you have actually done. And so it's amazing. You see how this all goes hand in hand? It's wonderful. So, what's your own personal goal? Maybe take a minute and say, "Hey, Aurelia, you might say, "Hey, Aurelia, I think I want to do at least 10,000 in the next 2 years." Okay, so then just double up these numbers and do it. But this is how this is the method that I use to come up with the 40 books a month consistently. That's the monthly goal. That's I consider the short-term goal. The immediate goal is to sell 40 books a month. So basically, that's one book a day. If you can do that, you are going to be well on to meeting your biannual goal. So you start with a big number in mind, then you think long term. Divide the big number by the amount of years you want to give yourself to meet your goal. Then you divide that number by 12. Then you figure out how much you want back in royalties per book. Then you divide the total that you got in step 3 by the answer for number 4. So, so try that. All right. So now that you have a sales goal in mind, think about what you can do to meet that goal. Marketing and tightening up your branding is going to be the top 2 areas where you want to start. Next week, we'll talk about marketing. Yeah, 2 years is good. If you can just divide it by 2, keep the math easy. I'm not someone that likes math. I don't really want to fool with it. So having an even number and then dividing it by 2 and working it that way, I would just prefer to do that. And speaking of doing things in 2, creating a partner for your book. This might be another way for you to think about how are you going to sell at least 40 copies of your book a month? Well, create something to go with your book. What I mean by that is consider creating a book partner that also counts as book revenue. So let's say you're not really sure if you can sell 40 books a month. No problem. Maybe you can sell 40 bookmarks in a month, or 100 bookmarks in a month, or whatever. And what I mean by partner is just something that goes along with your book, another product. So, like I said, a bookmark. Create a bookmark that's inspired from your book. You can use quotes, you can use imagery, you can use symbolism, you can use the cover, you can use the season. It's fall, right? It's getting ready to be fall. You can use your favorite animal, whatever. Create bookmarks and sell them to go with your book. And especially because if someone buys your book, they're going to need a bookmark to, stick inside of it just in case they pause and take a break. Otherwise, there's this program that I use called Printify, printify.com. It's a website that makes it super easy to take any graphic and put it on a shirt, mug, tote bag, etc. Imagine if you have a book, you have 5 different bookmarks, and you have a t-shirt, or you have a mug, or you have a sticker, or you have a tote bag. Let's say you have 7 different items and your goal still is to make $200 a month. that goal seems a lot more attainable when I have more than one thing that I'm offering somebody. I know you might listen to these different entrepreneurs that say just focus on one thing at a time, but then they turn around and tell you, well, you need more than one stream of income. So then how do you, it doesn't add up. So I suggest if you have the time, to create 7 products, including your book, do that. If you know someone that's a graphic designer, a lot of times, you can get someone to do graphic designs for you for really inexpensive. I use this website called Upworks, and I set my own budget. I say, hey, for $50, I need someone to draw up, to design 3 images for me based on these descriptions, bing, bang, boom. I post it, people send in their proposals, I pick one, and then bam, now I have 3 images that I can use for either a bookmark, that I can use to put on a shirt, that I can use for whatever products that I want to attach with my book. I now have that. And these different things I'm keeping in mind, I'm going to market as well. But they're also going to help me market the book, because when I post a picture of this beautiful bookmark that has the cover of Identical Strangers, Arthur Cleve Bush, new book that's coming soon, when it has that cover on it, they're going to say, wow, what is that from? Oh, and then it gets even better when you put a quote on it. Oh, that's a good quote. Is that quote from the book? Ooh, I got to read the quote. I got to read the book now. And so you see, it creates that interest in your reader. All right. My timer is telling me to wrap it up. I have another meeting after this. And so luckily we only have this side and one more. That means I'm going to have to come back later and make a video on the sales goals template. You can go ahead. I already posted it. You can go ahead and download it and look at it and let me know right there if you have any questions, and maybe we can work it that way and I'll answer any questions if there's any there. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory, especially after you watch this video. Again, back to this key point. Book inspired products count as book revenue. Creating products inspired from your book also counts as book revenue in the publishing industry. It's also a great way to market your book and get people interested in reading it from cover to cover. You are a creative. You knew enough creatively to write a book. Go back to that same place and create a buddy or 2 or 6 to sell with your book. All right. And I already covered this, but just again, sales goal template later today. I already posted it, the sales goal template, so that you can start writing down your sales goals, and the list of products that you are going to create to go with your book, if you decide to take that route. Also, you can even take it a step further and think about what kind of marketing you need to do to get those goals. Of course, social media is one. So you're going to think about online and offline marketing, and we'll talk about that on Monday. Other than that, all right, have a good weekend. I am going to go finish my coffee and prepare for my next meeting that I have in just a few minutes. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this Facebook Live. I'll be back again on Monday. Till then, see you later.